Last week we had snow. This week we've got 70-degree temperatures. You gotta love it. Let's get to work. Well, good morning. Welcome back here to the shop where I have been busy. Last episode, if you remember, we left off, I needed to finish gluing the muscle blocks, the leg muscles, on all of our bottom half of our bodies for our horses. And while I was just kind of rolling right along, I just went right in and I started gluing up the middle sections of our horse bodies as well. There was really nothing to see. I thought about filming it, but really I had 8-quarter material here and I even had some 10-quarter, and we'll throw one up as I glue them and I'll explain again how to put the middle body blocks together. But basically you're just building a box, so there really wasn't much to see. And like I said, I was in the zone, so I just went ahead and I just started gluing and cutting material up and getting it done. The other thing that I was able to get prepared and get ready, we're going to start, and this is where we're going to start here today, is I have this medium body block for another glider. This is the one that I miscut, or I didn't cut correctly on the right angle. So I went ahead and I glued up material to glue, or put some legs or cut out some more legs for this one. And then I've had this large bottom body block in the middle section sitting here all summer long, and so I've got material ready to go. So let's cut out a couple more legs for that. Again, I'll spare you from that. I'll just go ahead and get them cut. But that is what I've done. So I've got material up on the bench. I'm going to throw it to the planer, and then I'm going to cut out some more legs and go ahead and get these glued on. And then let's take the clamps off of all of our middle body blocks. And this is why I am so excited about having this 10-inch joiner. I'm going to show you why I needed it and why I wanted it. So let's just get right back into it and let me get the clamps off everything, and then we'll just get at it. You've always heard, and I'm sure you've all have heard other people say, you can never have too many clamps. Well, it's true. You can never have too many clamps. And like I said, I'm always kind of keeping an eye out for more of these. It's time now to go ahead and get the bottom halves of our horse bodies all planed so that we can go ahead and get the middle sections glued down nice and tight. And the way I used to do this, and when I'm talking about planing, this is left over from after we screw the legs on and screw or glue our muscle blocks on. Then of course everything needs to be flat and true, and the better the glue joint, of course, the better the horse overall. So the way I used to do this is I had a hand plane here, and I bought this Hitachi. I bet it's been 15 years ago. that I bought this, and I've kept it in this box. I bring it out to do this one particular job. This planer has never been used for any other job other than just truing the bottom half of our horses. And so this is why I've been so excited now to have this 10-inch joiner in the shop. It's going to do this one particular job. Of course, I'm going to join other edges, and you've seen me use it, but this is mainly why I wanted that wide joiner. Of course, I could have gone out and bought a brand new one. They start anywhere from $2,500 and they go on up to $4,000 and $5,000 and $6,000, depending on if it's a 10-inch or a 12-inch. And I didn't have that kind of money, and I didn't really want to spend that at this time. So that's why it's taken me a number of years to try to find the right joiner to put in here. And of course, I just wanted a short bed. I don't need a long bed joiner in here. It still works perfect. I've been doing everything that I used to do on it, so it's going to work just fine. But again, this is why I'm so excited. So let's go over, let's take one of these bodies over, and let's just see how well it does. Okay, so right away, I don't need the fence right now. So we can go ahead and put this out of the way, and that clears my blade. So we can leave that right there. And yeah, perfect. This is going to work great. These bodies here on the small horses are 5 3/4 or 6 inches wide. Of course, this is a 10-inch planer, so it's going to work really, really well. Let's give this a shot here. Wow, how slick is that? Again, this is why I've been so excited to have this in here. This is going to be such a time saver to be able to just flip the body upside down and just make sure everything's nice and true. Perfect. So just giving you a close-up again of what I'm talking about here. You know, our surface here has to, of course, be all nice and flat and true. And so you can see where it's, you know, of course, sticking up about a, you know, 1/8 of an inch in areas, 1/16 of an inch. And now with the 10-inch joiner, in just a couple of, we're at a minute, 60 seconds of doing that, we're perfect. Just a nice flat surface. Just awesome. Now all we have is, what, 5 more to go. Well, that took less time to get 5 of these bodies ready to go than what it would take to do just one, the old way and the other way I used to do it. So, I mean, man, that is just awesome. It's just the little things in life that get you excited, isn't it? So now with that done and out of the way, we can focus our attention on the middle sections of our horses. And I used to do this, there's 2 ways now we can do this. And the old way and the way I used to do it, I take it over to the planer and I just set the planer just to take a real light pass, and I just take multiple passes on either side, and that would true them up. And that worked fine, and you can still do it that way. But hey, now that we have a 10-inch joiner, let's just take it over to the joiner, make a few passes, and we should be done. Okay, readjust. I did the first couple of passes on the bodies, I was only taking about a 1/16 of an inch off, and then I did lower this just a little bit more on the medium bodies just to take a little bit more off than a 1/16. It needed a little bit more of a depth put on it, but let's raise it back up to about a 1/16 of an inch, and let's just run these across a couple of times and we should be good. And we need 3.5, and we are just a little bit heavy on the 3.5, so perfect. With both of our halves now run over the joiner, let's just go ahead and throw a small body block up on top, and let's just see how tight and how close we are. Wow. That is absolutely perfect. It is dead on. There is absolutely no light coming through anywhere on that joint. That is just an absolutely perfect glue joint. I know I use perfect a lot here, but that's about the only word I have to describe this in some of the things. Just as perfect. Wow, that is going to be such a time saver. I am just so excited you all don't know. This is great. Well, let's just go ahead, let's move on. Let's grab the other ones, throw them up here, and we can get everything clamped. New day here in the shop, and we're really making some great progress. Our bodies are coming along nice. This morning I want to go ahead and get the clamps taken off, and we'll clear the bench off, and I have a few more things I want to glue up and again cut out, and we'll just keep moving right along. I'm starting to put a bit of a checklist together in my head, of what needs to be done yet. We still need to make the top part of our horse bodies, the top plate. We still have to glue material up, and we need to make heads. I have some heads here, but we need to make some more, so we need to start gluing up for all of that. I have hoof extensions. I know everything. That's one of the little personal touches that I like to do, is just add a little bit of material on the hooves and bump those out and give them a little bit of shape. So that's really, I think that's about it. And that's still quite a bit to do. So let's go ahead, let's get the clamps taken off of everything, let's get the bench cleared off, and then let's just continue to start gluing more material up. So this particular glue up that I'm gonna go ahead and put clamps on, this is for our large horse that I want to glue up. I have the body over here, the bottom body block, and I have a middle body block ready to go. And I started gluing material up. I glued enough material to cut out our medium legs and enough to cut out the large legs, but I didn't have quite the thickness that I was hoping for. So I had some 4/4 stock here, basswood. So yesterday, before I left the shop, I went ahead and glued up a section. When I glue up, and this might be something to point out, when I glue something up like this, I always plane one surface and then join one edge if I'm doing a glue up like this. So that's how I do it. Glue it up, try to get my joint as close as I can, and then once everything's dry, then I can just take it over and then finish planing it. And that way you really don't lose any thickness or anything like that. As far as glue, it's never affected any of my blades or anything. So if I get a lot of heavy glue, I'll go ahead and use my scraper and scrape it off. But for the most part, I can run this through and not affect anything, and I'll get the correct thickness that I'm looking for. So that's just a little insight on how I glue up and what, the procedure and what I do when I glue something up like this. So let me run this through the planer, come back over, we'll put some clamps on it, and then we'll set it aside to dry. Okay, there we go. I'll bring you up on the bench here so that you can see the glue ups and the seams and the joints that I get. And I've always been able to achieve in working hard at getting really nice glue joints. And again, I was always told, even at a young age, if you get a good glue joint, it'll never break. The wood around it will break before that glue joint will. So I always work hard at getting really good glue joints. So with that being said, let's go ahead and put some glue down. We'll put some clamps on it, and again, set it aside to dry. There we go. You can kind of see my glue joints like I was talking about. And I always try to really work hard at getting a really good tight glue joint. So let's go ahead and put some glue down and get this clamped. Okay, that is all glued up, and again, the old saying is you can never have too many clamps, and it's true. You can never have too many clamps. So let's set this aside to dry now, and then we're going to continue to glue up as much as we can. Again, I want to glue up enough material for a couple more heads. We've got small heads to make, and I don't know, we'll just stay busy. Next, I think I want to focus my attention right now on building some heads. So I was going through my stack, see what I have already made here, and this is what I have so far. So I've got a large here that is about 80% complete. It's not going to take too much more to get this one ready to go. So I've got this one. This is one I was working on over at the show as a demonstration in August. And I also have a large a large head blank that is, ready to go. Then I have a medium here that is also roughly about 80% complete. And I have a medium blank that is, cut out and ready to go. As far as small heads, I have this head here. So I definitely need to make some more small heads. So I pulled down this piece of 8/4 basswood, and this will be just right to make the medium heads. Now these need to finish out at 2 3/4 inches or a heavy 2 3/4. So 8/4 inch basswood, this will work out just right. I'll get my 3 out of this easy. Now for the small heads, I don't think I have the material for this, so I may have to spend some time and just really kind of glue up what I need to make up 4 or 5 heads. So this needs to finish out. As far as thickness goes, I need 1 3/4 inches, and I need a piece that is about roughly 10 inches wide. I'm going to look up top. I don't think I have anything that I can just plane. I'm going to have to glue something up, so that's going to take some time there. But then I was looking in my stack of cutoffs over there, and I've got this chunk that will work for a medium head. It's already planed down. The only problem with this, it's got some holes, some wormholes, some damage to it, but I think there's enough. If I position this just right, I think I can do this and carve it. At least I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out and carve one and just see how it looks. I don't like to do that, but really, again, I think I'm going to carve most of this out and cut it out. So I don't think you'll see that. And I'm curious to see how it looks anyway, so I don't mind taking the time and carving that. But I'll go ahead and use that for another head. I have a neck muscle or a neck block here that is for a medium, so that one's all cut out. So I've got quite a bit of stuff here again, so I just want to continue to just work ahead. We're doing good on bodies. The only thing left to do on those bodies is cut out for the hooves and to make the hoof extensions. And then those are going to be pretty well ready to go. So I think it's time now. Let's just make some heads and let's just finish the day out and make a bunch of heads. So let's get after it. we've got our piece of basswood plane, so let's just go ahead and lay out some heads and get them ready to run through the bandsaw. Okay, let's throw it up on the miter saw and let's get this all cut apart. Then we can go over to the bandsaw. Well, really, we'll go to the drill press first, cut out the mouth, and then we'll head to the bandsaw. Okay, there's that. Now we can go to the drill press. Okay, first things first, I think I'm going to need to change out the bit and put a 9/16 bit in. So I've got a spade bit here. That'll work just fine. Okay, let's drill out the mouth. we go. Well, here we are. We're back at our old friend, the bandsaw. That's okay. This won't take long. Okay, there's our third head, and I already have a neck block ready. It's all cut and ready to go. The only thing we have to do to join the head to this neck is head over to the joiner. We want to put a bevel cut on this neck. Sometimes I do it on the neck block and the head as well. This is how we make the head look like, or make it appear that it's turning, is we'll put these bevel cuts on here, and that will make that head turn in just a little bit. Then when this is all clamped and glued and dried, then we're going to take this and put it on our top body block, and then we're going to turn it a little bit more. And again, that's going to give it that appearance that the head is turning. So again, to do this, we'll do this on the joiner. So let's head over there and we'll put our bevel cut on. Okay, we need to adjust our fence back. And we just want to take about a 5-degree. That's about 5 right there. Let's see what that does. Well, it was certainly cold this morning when I come out to the shop. I had to break out the long sleeve tees. Right now though, I want to go ahead and glue up our heads. I've been spending another couple of hours here this morning gluing up more things. I still needed to glue up more material for our necks here for our heads, but I have one here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that up. And then I'm going to step back and then take a look. I want to show you everything that we've done. I mean, really, when you start looking at it, we've gotten a pile of work done in just a few weeks. So I'll give you a shot, an overview view of, what we've gotten done. Boy, I'll tell you, I think it looks really good. But let's go ahead and glue this one down. The way I do this, just a couple of 1/4 inch dowels, and I just kind of drill it in anywhere. Really, the dowels aren't there for strength or support. They're just there to keep the head from moving while we clamp it. Couple of dowels, and then I have center points, 1/4 inch center points that I'll put on. Okay, that's marked. Take our neck out, put our head in, and we'll drill those out, and then we'll just put everything together. Just a couple of clamps, light pressure for now, until we get both of them in place, and then we can go ahead and run them home. There we go. That's all there is to it. Now, once this dries, then I'll go ahead and cut out the eye pieces, the eye and the ear pieces. And again, I've said this before, I like to make them a little bit thicker. I go maybe 5/8, have a half an inch 5/8, because I'm trying to make those ears spread out just a little bit further. And again, that's one of the little personal details that I like to do on my horses. But we'll have to let that dry, and we'll come back and do that again next week. But let me go ahead and show you now everything that we've been able to get done in just a few short weeks. Again, just taking a look here at everything we've done, this is what we have and we've been able to do in, like I said, just a few short weeks. So we've gotten quite a few horses together, you know, and stands too. And not only, then I've also got material here. These are for our necks. So there's enough material there to do, I think, 3 medium necks, and then there's enough material being glued for about 4 small heads. And then we've got our head here. We have more legs here that we're going to cut out later. I was able to go ahead and get this large, you know, the legs, I was gluing up that big board there. And so I went ahead and got that cut out this morning and got another large horse, you know, started to be glued up. But again, that's a lot of work that we were able to get done in just a short time. I'm kind of standing here going over the checklist and what I need to get done, where I want to be for next week when we get in here to the shop. So the checklist, we still need to make our hoof extensions for everything. We still have a few muscle blocks to make for that large horse, but the rest of them are all done. And we need to make our neck muscles. I'd say that's the biggest hurdle that we have coming up now, is making all of the neck muscles for these horses. I'll continue working on getting the necks glued to our heads, so that's all done. And then again, we can go ahead and start making our eye and ear pieces for these. But again, I think where I want to be next week, let's get in here, and you've heard me say it a couple of times now, but let's get in here and let's get one of these medium horses finished, you know, built, so we can get it outside and we can start carving. Looking ahead at the weather, we're still going to have some 60-degree upper 60s for next week and sunny. So that again is perfect weather to be outside, and we can start roughing one of these horses in. So I need to grab that head that I showed you. There's a little bit more fine tuning to do on that, but it's going to be mostly sanding. So we can go ahead and get that finished up, and then we'll glue that to our upper body block, and then we can add our neck muscles and then glue it to the body, and then it's ready to go. So really a few days we should have that, you know, ready to be taken outside, and we can start roughing that in. So that's, I think, what I want to work on next week. So, you know, we'll just see how it goes. But again, thanks a lot for watching and hanging out with me here at the shop. I hope you're getting something out of these videos. If you are, again, think about subscribing, hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. You know, like, share the video too. That really helps me out. You know, I'm trying to crack that YouTube algorithm. You can check me out on Pinterest and Instagram, and of course my website at Greenfield Woodworks. But again, thanks a lot for watching and hanging out, and we'll see you here in the shop next week. Take care.